यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसाद यस्य प्रसादात्.
In our Parampara's history, there's never been an example of the Ritvik system. There's always been a physical guru. Regarding Parampara system, there's nothing to wonder for big gaps. The Gita was taught to the sun god some millions of years ago, but Krishna has mentioned only 3 names in the Parampara system, namely Vivashvan, Manu, and Ikshvaku. And so these gaps do not hamper from understanding the Parampara system. We have to pick up from the prominent Acharya and follow from him.
And also the example of Ramanuja Acharya and Yamunaja Acharya. Yamunaja Acharya, when in his spiritual master already left the body. See, just like Brahma, he did not see Lord Krishna and he heard the word. Just because he heard from Brahma and I did not see Krishna, that means his potency is lost. It doesn't work like that. In spiritual life, the Lord is always in the heart of the living entity. See? So he is directing. How to save the conditioned soul is his prerogative, not ours or yours or anybody. You understand this? And spiritual life only can happen by the connection with spiritual master. See? And spiritual master not necessarily must be physically present. He has to give you that sound vibration. So many of you have not seen Prabhupada, a clear example, and you read his books and your life has changed. Your life has not changed because you met some other devotees in the line. This is not a fact. His books are the one that changing to life. So how is it not practical? It's very practical. 50 years down the line, most of you have not even seen Prabhupada. For even my case, I have not even seen him when I was joining up at that time. It doesn't mean that I'm pretty much bogus because I didn't associate with him. No. This is not a very valid statement.
Does Prabhupada have the right to do such a change?
In this verse 10-31, he very nicely explained this point. O Lord, you who resemble the shining sun, you are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as a desiratory Vancha Kalpataru. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fierce ocean of Nisain, they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross. And because you are very merciful to your other devotees, you accept this method to help them. This is a very important point. So Prabhupada is leaving us a system to help us.
This is the symptom of an acharya. An acharya who comes for the service of the Lord cannot be expected to conform to some stereotype, for he must find the ways and means by which Krishna consciousness may be spread. Every acharya has a specific means for propagating his spiritual movement with the aim of bringing men to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, the method of one acharya may be different from that of another, but the ultimate goal is never neglected. As Hari is free to act as he likes, the empowered spiritual master is also free. As Hari is not subject to mundane rules and regulations, the spiritual master empowered by him is also not subject.
Because he is an acharya who knows past, present, future. So he knows very well how degraded the society is going to become. Many more conditioned souls who are more and more, having a lot of demonic qualities are going to take birth. So knowing these conditions, to keep that spiritual flow, the spiritual message flowing, Prabhupada had introduced this system. As you can see nowadays, let's say even 50 years ago, the guru falling down is unheard of. Now even in the, very strict maths like the Madhva math or the Ramanuja math, they follow very so strictly, they are acharyas also falling down. With the symptom of this age, in Kali Yuga, all these things are going to be happening in a more very, lucid manner. Everybody is going to see there's so many fall downs. So people are losing faith. So to keep that spiritual integrity, safe and solid, Prabhupada has introduced this system. Just like in this verse, the purport he says about the 16 rounds. In the purport of this verse, he says, the acharya's duty is therefore to find the means by which devotees may render service according to reference from Shastra. Rupa Goswami, for example, in order to help subsequent devotees, published such devotional books as Bhakti Rasa Sindhu. This is the duty of the acharya to publish books that will help future candidates take up the method of service and become eligible to return home back to Godhead. By the mercy of the Lord,
A Acharyas publish books to give the method, according to time, circumstances, and candidate, to go back to Godhead.
But in our movement, Krishna conscious movement, the same path has been prescribed and followed. Thus, the devotees have been advised to refrain from 4 sinful activities: illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, and to chant 16 rounds a day. These are bona fide instructions.
Current bona fide method, 4 regulative principles, and 16 rounds.
Krishna accepts a devotee who strictly follows the regulative principle and the method prescribed in the various books and literature published by the authorities. The Acharya gives the suitable method for crossing the ocean on Nissan by accepting the board of the Lord's lotus feet. And if this method is strictly followed, the followers will ultimately reach the destination by the grace of the Lord. This method is called Acharya Sampradaya.
Acharya Sampradaya, process by which Krishna accepts a strict follower of the method given by the Acharya.
It is therefore said, Sampradaya vinahe mantraste nispalamataha. Padma Puranam. The Acharya Sampradaya is strictly bona fide, therefore one must accept the Acharya Sampradaya, otherwise one's endeavor will be futile. Srila Narottam Das Thakur therefore sing, Tandera Janana Sena Bhakta Sanivas, Janame Janame Hoye Abhilas. One must worship the lotus feet of the Acharya and live within the society of devotees, then one's endeavor to cross over Nisans will surely be successful.
If Acharya Sampradaya is not accepted, all one's endeavor are futile. 2 things needed: worship of the lotus feet of the Acharya and live within the society of devotees. Then one is sure to go back home, back to Godhead.
So from here it's clearly evident that if 16 round is fully endorsed by Prabhupada and he is claimed himself as the Acharya of the Sampradaya, who is authorized to make adjustment for the conditioned soul like us, then why the Ritvik system that he has so much given, clearly written in so many ways, and in July 9 letter, the will, everything shows.
In Prabhupada's Declaration of Will, point 3, there is a statement concerning the directors designated to manage the properties in India. In the event of death or failure to act for any reason of any of the said directors, a successor director or directors may be appointed by the remaining directors, provided the new director is my initiated disciple, following strictly all the rules. While Prabhupada was reading the draft of his will prepared by Giriraj Swami, he ordered that the word "an" be changed to "my initiated disciple." This is only possible if the Ritvik system of initiation is followed.
And why we should deny that? Prabhupada did not transgress from the Vedic system at any point of the time. When he started the movement, you have to remember that he was already almost 70 years old. So his departing from the world was always, it was imminent. It's not a forgotten fact that he is oblivious to the fact he's going to leave his body. He was always knowing that I'm an old man, I will pass away, you all are young, you should carry on the movement. So he had all that already in the mind. So he started the program by first giving the initiation, giving the name, and giving the, chanting on the beads. Then as he progressed, he asked the president to do the fire sacrifice. And then he delegated that to the president. And then as things progressed more, he delegated the chanting on the beads to the senior man. See? So he kept giving the name. Yes? And then when he came to the point where he was going to depart, he entrusted to some representative also. So he was an online thing going on from the day one. Although to encourage the disciple, he said, yeah, when you all are qualified, you can initiate. But on qualification, well, who's qualified? We can see the result of that catastrophe of taking this prematurely, is so much disastrous.
If there are any defects within our society, it is only symptom that the instructions of the spiritual master are being neglected. As soon as a foolish disciple tries to overtake his spiritual master and becomes ambitious to occupy his post, he immediately falls down. Anyone, if he is a pure devotee, he can deliver others, he can become spiritual master. But unless he is on that platform, he should not attempt it. Then both of them will go to hell, like blind men leading the blind. He is not a liberated person, and therefore he cannot initiate any person to Krishna consciousness. It requires special spiritual benediction from higher authorities. When one has attained the topmost position of Mahabhagavata, he is to be accepted as a guru and worshipped exactly like Hari, the personality of Godhead. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of a guru.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.